I always say that the only courage you ever need is the courage to fulfill the dreams of your own life. But if you don't have a dream today, start dreaming. Start believing that having a dream will lead you to the fulfillment of your dream if you're willing to let every step you take move you in that direction. It doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have to be you're writing it down on paper. I now know that that helps if you can articulate it for yourself. And for everybody who's saying, I don't know if I even believe in myself, this is the truth. You deserve the best that life has to offer you. You deserve the best version of yourself. Why? Because you're here. Because you were born. You deserve the best life possible.
That it's okay if you say no. It's okay if you say no and then people don't like you. That's really okay. The important thing is how you feel about what you're doing, how you feel about yourself.
No change happens without a decision to change. That's in your own personal life. You can wish and hope for something all you want, better relationship, better job, better life circumstances, but it's your decision to make it better where change takes hold.
One of the biggest lessons I've learned recently is that when you don't know what to do, you should do nothing until you figure out what to do. Because a lot of times you feel like you're pressed against the wall and you've got to make a decision. You never have to do anything. No, don't know what to do? Do nothing. I wait. And that has been a big lesson. To be willing to be still with myself and trust myself and my higher power to help me make the right decision and to not feel pressured. See, I think, we create stress for ourselves because you feel like you have to do what other people, you have to do it, you have to. I don't feel that anymore. All the mistakes I've made in my life, I've made because I was trying to please other people.
How you can become more of yourself. Now, I've always believed that the number one job any of us has in this life is to become ourselves, to grow into the best possible version of you that you can muster. Life is always speaking to us, whether it's through a show you're watching, the people you're surrounding yourself with, or the books you choose to read. If you're willing to open your eyes, your ears, most importantly, your heart, your spirit, you will find that life speaks to you while guiding you to become more of you. And once you start paying attention to life's whispers, you'll be able to tap into your full potential and focus on the things that help you become more of yourself.
I truly believe that thoughts are the greatest vehicle to change, power, and success in the world. Everything begins with thoughts. The chairs that we're sitting in, the room that we're in, all started because somebody thought it.
I believe that the best thing we can collectively do is to take care of our individual selves. Now, I know that might sound oversimplified and even selfish to some people, but this is what I know for sure, that you have to feed yourself with love and loving thoughts in order to show up more fortified and complete to give other people your love. We hear about self-care so much these days, but what does it really mean? Well, for me, it's about engaging in practices that fill you up in every way. That means eating foods that are both enjoyable and nourishing, giving your body the gift of some form of movement every day, and surrounding yourself with people whose energy uplifts you. This is so important. Also, creating space in your day for at least, just give yourself at least a minimum of 5 minutes of stillness. That alone time is so crucial when you can distance yourself from the voices of the world so you can hear your own voice loud and clear.
I think the most important thing to get ahead falls back to what I truly believe in, and that is the ability to seek truth in your life. And that's on all forms. You have to be honest with yourself. You can be pursuing a profession because your parents say it's the best thing. You can be pursuing a profession because you think you'll make a lot of money. You can be pursuing a profession because you think you're going to get a lot of attention. None of that will do you any good if you're not being honest with yourself. And the honesty comes from your natural born instinct will tell you when you're doing something whether or not this feels right. You feel a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment and worthiness to the world in such a way that you know you're doing the right thing. You don't have to ask anybody. When you're doing the right thing, you don't have to say, you think this is okay? It's like, and it works on every level. Whether or not you're going to a party, or you're choosing a dress, or you're choosing a friend, if you ever have to say, do you think this is okay? Chances are it is not, because that's your instinct trying to get you to ask yourself that question. Maybe this isn't okay.
And I would say that the best way to begin to figure out who you are really meant to be is to ask the universe, God, that question. God, how can I be used in service to myself first? And how can I then use that service to serve the world? Use your life to serve the world, and you will find that it also serves you.
The one thing that has allowed me to certainly achieve both material success and spiritual success is the ability to listen to my instinct. I call it my inner voice. It doesn't matter what you call it, nature, instinct, higher power. But the ability to understand the difference between what your heart is saying and what your head is saying. I now always go with the heart. Even when my head is saying, oh, but this is the rational thing, this is really what you should do, I always go with that little feeling, the feeling. I am where I am today because I have allowed myself to listen to my feelings.
Many of you, as I have been, as I am, are where you are in your life based upon what you believe. And it's not just what you think you believe on the surface, it's also your shadow beliefs that are holding you back from moving into the life that you believe you deserve. What I know is if you're not looking at the shadows, if you're not looking at what is subconsciously running through the tape in your mind, telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you're not smart enough, you're not enough, which is a tape that's playing for a lot of people. If you're not conscious of that, then you end up acting out of that belief system and not out of what you know to be the truest or want to be the truest for yourself.
I think that success is a process. And I believe that my first Easter speech in the Kosciuszko Baptist Church at the age of 3.5 was the beginning. And that every other speech, every other book I read, every other time I spoke in public was a building block. So that by the time I first sat down to audition in front of a television camera and somebody says, read this, what allowed me to read it so comfortably and be so at ease with myself at that time was the fact that I'd been doing it a while. If I'd never read a book or I'd never spoken in public before, I would have been traumatized by it. So the fact that we went on the air with the Oprah Winfrey Show in 1986 nationally, and people would say, oh, but you're so comfortable in front of the camera, you can be yourself. Well, it's because I've been being myself since I was 19. And I would not have been able to be as comfortable with myself had I not made mistakes on the air and been allowed to make mistakes on the air and understand that it doesn't matter. You know, there's no such thing to me as an embarrassing moment. No such thing. If I tripped and fell, if my bra strap showed, if my slip fell off, if I fell flat on my face, there's no such thing as an embarrassing moment because I know that there is not a moment that I could possibly experience on the air that somebody else hasn't already experienced. So when it happens, you say, oh, my slip fell off. And it's no big deal. I mean, like, I was on TV the other day and somebody says, oh, Oprah, you have a run. Have you not seen a run before in your life? Well, I get them too, let me tell you. So, I mean, I can't be embarrassed. I can't be embarrassed. So that was, for me, the beginning of realizing that, oh, you can laugh at yourself and you can make a mistake and it's not the end of the world. You don't have to be perfect. And biggest lesson for me for television, because then it didn't matter.